You might be surprised to learn that research shows that individual coaching can have a negative effect on team performance. In this video, I'll share the differences between team coaching and individual coaching so that you can work out what's needed in your context. The purpose of coaching in general is to maximize the potential of people. This could be in an individual context, as a team, or as a group. Great coaches, regardless of who they are coaching, master these three critical skills: active listening, asking powerful questions, and self-awareness. In this video, I share more definitions of coaching so that you can understand a little bit more about the general definition of what coaching is. It's likely you're most familiar with individual coaching. This is where a coach will work one-on-one with an individual team member. This type of coaching is focused on what that individual can do to maximize their personal and professional potential. This is often related to the individual's goals, such as maybe career progression, developing a certain skill, or maybe exploring things such as confidence, self-esteem, or maybe imposter syndrome. A common mistake coaches often make is that they focus on the individual only and ignore the wider system that they're part of. The system is a combination of elements. It can be the physical environments, it can be the relationships within that environment, it can be the rules, the policies, and the structures that govern that actual system. Some examples are a workplace. An organization is a system, and within that organization there can also be subsystems. The most common one is typically a team, is of itself a system. And that organization also exists within a broader system of maybe an industry, a society, or even a country's cultural system. Research shows that the performance of an individual is much more dependent on this wider system than people typically think it is. Any change starts with someone acting differently. And when the system that person is part of rejects that new behavior, change can be incredibly difficult. And this is where team coaching can be super powerful. Team coaching is focused on maximizing the potential of the team as a whole, not just the individual people within the team. In fact, research shows that coaching individuals can actually lead to a lower team performance. You might be wondering why that is. Well, just think about it. I'm sure you've been in a situation where maybe you've had some coaching or been to a training program and you've learned some new skills and behaviors that you'd like to use within your team environment. I'm sure, like me, you've been in that situation where you've tried out that new behavior and the people around you kind of think you're a little bit crazy. And if that behavior is very different, it's often now kind of reject that behavior and say, oh, I don't think we should do it that way. Let's just stay with what we've been doing previously. So that demonstrates that when change happens and a change of behavior, it can be incredibly difficult to get that behavior adopted within that team system if the team as a whole haven't also been through that journey. Teams typically seek out coaching to help them collaborate and work towards the goals that they're working towards, which might be developing a new product, delivering a project, or achieving some important mission. Achieving these goals for teams can be incredibly difficult. It's often that there'll be challenges with regards to communication. Conflict is also very often a very challenging topic for teams. And also decision making. How do we make clear decisions? Do we rely on consensus or an individual to make the decisions? So working in a team environment can bring many challenges. And this is often where teams will reach out to coaches for help when they're having problems achieving the goal that they're working towards. The teams that a team coach could work with could be a senior leadership team. So maybe it's the CEO and their top leadership team within the organization. It might also be a delivery team. So it might be a team that's building a product or a software solution. Or it could be a project team that's been assembled for a temporary period of time to achieve some mission or project for their organization. A team coach focuses on the team system. Most specifically, a team coach will work with the relationships between team members, not the individuals themselves. It is this combination of relationships that really makes a team rather than a loose collection of individuals in a group. A team is also greater than the sum of its parts. If you take a moment just to think back to a great team you've been part of, I'm sure one thing you'll find is that it was difficult to really pinpoint one individual or one thing that really led to the success of that team. And this highlights the point that often teams are greater than the sum of their parts. Team coaches are focused on working with the team to access understanding of this greater system to help maximize their performance. Working with the team system can be a difficult concept to understand. This idea of the system is explored in Organizational Relationship System Coaching, ORSC. This is a course you can take that really helps you understand the tools, techniques that you can use to work with teams. And they have a phrase called the third entity. And it's this third entity, which is that collection of the individuals that creates this greater whole. And it's really the team coach works with the team to unlock awareness of this third entity of the team system so they can start to work on how they as a collective start to work more effectively together. The team coach helps the team become more aware of this third entity, giving it a voice and helping it guide the team's improvement. So here's an example of how you can work with this team's third entity and the team system to help them find a better level of performance. So imagine you're working with a team of 6 people. An individual coaching approach might look something like this. The individual coach will perform a Strengths Finder assessment with each of the individual team members. This will uncover the strengths of individual team members, such as maybe empathy, learner, strategic, execution. The individual coach will then lead the team through a discussion about their individual strengths and how each person can bring their strength to work and how each team member can help unlock the strength in each other. A team coach will actually go a step further. And here's just one example that I did very recently with a team to help unlock their strength. Instead of looking at the individual strengths, I led the team through an exercise to look at what their strength was as a team. What strength can only be accessed by the team as a whole? This team strength is often wholly different than the individual strengths within the team. The team strength is not simply a combination of the team's individual strengths. The strength of the team is often something completely different and often much greater than the sum of the parts. The strength the team identified was courage. This strength was unique to that particular team, and courage meant something very specific to that collection of people within the team. Once we'd identified this team strength of courage, I worked with the team to help them understand how they can access this strength, how they can listen to it, and how they could use it to guide their improvement on the project they were working towards. To help them do this, we embodied this courage in a lion. And this became a mantra and a physical thing that the team could point to reference this third entity, this system that the team was in, and allow them to access that strength when they needed it most. So in summary, team coaching is focused on the system. In particular, it's focused on the relationships between people, not the individuals themselves. This system can also be called the third entity, and it's this kind of combination of the parts that's greater than the whole that is really what the team coach helps the team access, gives it a voice, and lets this guide the team improvement. If you'd like to develop your coaching skills, I created Switch, a 5-day, 5-minute-a-day program that'll help you build the habits of coaching. You'll build habits around active listening, asking powerful questions, and developing self-awareness. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you get all the best insights to help you, your team, and organization improve.